You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
The moment we all have been waiting for is here with us. I would like to do a very lengthy introduction. Of course, I was reading your bios and sitaki kufanya hivyo. Sitaki kuchosha wasikilizaji. Au sio? I want nataka wasikilize for themselves, of course. I want to start from my father's right. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, of course, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Gathoni and Santa Maria. I do a lot of things. I'm a producer, I'm a writer, I'm a mentor. Mm-hmm. I'm the voice of Zuri for Safaricom.
Uongo. Uongo bwana. Hi.
Polo.
My mama. Yeah, so
wow, okay.
I'm here in the capacity of a trainer for marketing, media and PR for the County Theatre Fiesta together with Kid Fest and the Kenya National Center, which is basically the Kenya Cultural Center, if you like.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that one, you are a surprise. Let's move it along. I'll come back with my questions. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very fine.
Unataka kutuma salamu hii asubuhi ama una mahali pa kutuma salamu?
Sababu mimi ni Mluya, kutuma salamu. Anyway, my name is Santa Maria Solomon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mimi ni Mluya anyway, na Kenya. Mm-hmm. I am the head of media and communications, Kid Fest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also do a lot of things, lakini sijafikia Gathoni bado. I'm yet to get there. Yeah, so I'm the face. Yeah, Kid Fest media.
You're the face of Kid Fest, all right. So, of course, for my first question this morning, of course, this goes to Gathoni.
Yes.
From your bio, you advocate and champion, of course, for societal changes and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So, yesterday there was a motion in Parliament, of course, to ban velo. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yes.
Your story, yeah?
Yes.
What are your opinions on the matter?
Hey, you want me to become political?
Lazima. That's why you are in the hot seat.
Honestly, that's such a hot question. I'm going to answer anyway. I like to live this life without a filter, but I feel like we like to pick on brands and just shut them down. Well, other brands like those exist, cigarettes exist, and people are still buying cigarettes. We never banned cigarettes. Why are we just banning velo, you know? So, I don't know. I feel like it's a very political question, and if I could go inside it, then tutakaa hapa mpaka asubuhi kesho.
All right, inakuwa nzuri tena sana. So, of course, I want to start off by talking about what does Kid Fest do? For anyone who is looking in right now, they don't know, they are like myself who are hearing for the first time. What can you tell us about Kid Fest?
Kid Fest is a non-profit organization that works with theater groups to capacity build them, to brand them, to teach them on theater, to teach them about writing and scripting, all that good stuff.
All right, quite interesting. So, of course, earlier you mentioned that you have a program running currently, of course, within Mombasa and Embu. Yeah? So, of course, for anyone who of course doesn't know what is happening in these particular places, for example, let's say in Mombasa, yeah. So how can they be part of the conversation? Do I have to register somewhere, or do I just come to the theater and I be part of that training?
So a couple of months ago, tulituma forms to the public to fill, and then the forms ilikuwa na all the counties that tulikuwa tumedecide that zitakuwa part of this, and then they filled them, and then they went through scrutinization, alafu hivyo ndo tukachagua groups. Then we came up with 5 groups from Mombasa, and now they are part of us during the program.
All right, fantastic. I want to bring Gathoni to the fold, and I want to jump into, of course, to the film. What is the name? I'm forgetting the name. Let me confirm. Yeah, I want to get it correctly. Too Early for Birds, yeah?
Yes.
I want us to talk about that, and of course...
It's a stage show. It's a theater show.
It's a theater show, yeah.
Yes.
So, of course, sisi wengine tunakumbuka tu shows tukiona zile za set books. Sio? So, of course, what is the theme behind it, and of course, why is it so important?
So Too Early for Birds is stories from our history, factual stories from Kenyan history.
Okay.
Dating as far back as the 1900s, 1800s actually, to 1990. So we basically tell stories about people who have been forgotten or historians whose stories were told from the wrong side. Because stories zetu nyingi zimesemwa from the white person's perspective, from the colonizer's way.
Yeah.
Na sisi wenyewe tuko na experiences zetu. We're the ones who lived through colonization, unajua. So that's why Too Early for Birds is very important, because it tells you where you came from. It reminds you that kama kuna corruption sahi, kulikuwa na corruption back then. Like from the stories that you research, you will find out Kenya has had almost similar, like repetitive history. But also then we are also we live in a very different world now compared to where our history was. We've told stories about Tom Mboya. We've told stories about the late Muthoniwa Kirima, who was a freedom fighter. She was a female, she was a woman freedom fighter. So it's just the stories about things we need to remind ourselves who we are and where we came from. Yes.
All right, fantastic. So of course, my clock striking 10 minutes past 9 a.m. Let us go on a short musical break, rather. And then when we come back, I want Gathoni to tell us, why did she quit media? Kwani kuliendaje? Of course, we understand you have a background in media studies. We want to get into all that. And of course, my guest also closer to me, I believe Santana, or is it Santa Maria? Santa Maria will be telling us what events will be going down this weekend. Of course, kuna wengine hamna mpali pa kuenda. Netflix free subscription ndio inaenda pia, so of course unahitaji kuwa na form, au sio? Inakuwa nzuri tena sana. Right about now, Harin the DJ. Harin. This is Shujawako, of course. I'm talking about Otile Brown featuring Mtoto Mzuri Ruby, na inacheza ndani ya The Breakfast Vibe Show 16 past 9 a.m. in the morning. And of course it is time for our morning chat, and I'm chopping it up of course with Gathoni and Santa Maria in the building. Now for anyone looking in, remember you can use the hashtag Pwani Innovation Week, hashtag The Breakfast Vibe Show. Now for anyone who doesn't know, who didn't know, I wanted to start off this segment by asking Gathoni, what happened and why did you, of course, switch careers?
I haven't switched careers. I'm still in the media. Look at me, I'm here. You can't be here if you've switched careers.
Hapana bwana.
Entertainment ni entertainment. Nilianza kwa TV. Sasa nafanya theater. Na marketing na media and PR.
All right. Nzuri tena sana. So of course, I want to take you back, I think, to the year 2012. You started an organization or a movement called, is it Verbal?
Yes.
Verbal. Hey, Verbal Intercourse. Hiyo ni kumaanisha nini? And what is it about?
So Verbal Intercourse basically was a nighttime conversation on Twitter, now X, where we used to talk about responsible sex.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So of course, the other day we saw the government suggesting that now primary schools will have sexual education, of course, being incorporated into the curriculum.
Yes.
As the founder of Verbal Intercourse, what do you have to say, of course?
I'm very happy it's happening finally, because we live in a very different time. Children are accessing the internet as early as 2 years. When you give them the tablet they're watching YouTube on, it's so easy for them to access sex. And if we're not going to teach them about it, then they're going to make choices that do not favor them. Okay. And it's simply because we didn't teach them. Unajua wakati wetu, and when I say wakati wetu is millennials who were born before the internet, and then the internet came and found us.
Yeah.
So one of the things that used to be done for sex education, tulikuwa tunaonyeshwa hizi movies zenye zilikuwa zinapelekwa kama tour, na tungeonyeshwa hizi movies za watu wenye they've gotten like STDs, STIs, and what they look like wakigonjeka. And it would shock you so much you would stay away from sex, okay? Because you thought anytime you have sex, that's what was going to happen. But we cannot do that anymore because the information is readily available. You'll introduce something to a child and they will just go and Google it. So it's important to just talk to them about it so that it's not overwhelming when they meet it, but they don't interact with it wrongly when they encounter it.
All right. Yes. Interesting that one. So of course, Santa Maria, looking at your website, it says Kenya International Heritage Fest has an approach towards cultural heritage. So of course, as a Kalenjin, where does the Kalenjin culture fit in the organization?
Okay, that's all about collections of traditions.
Okay.
For our Friday show, there's a group called Gonda Asili, inatoka kule Likoni, and they have a show that revolves around their tradition.
Okay.
Wakona mtu anacheza ile flute ile Kigiriama, and make beads around. So you know when someone comes anaona that.
Okay.
Even when you have kids during the show, wanauliza ile nini because they've never seen that before because all kids are on social media.
Yeah.
Like wakifika pale show wanaona these are our traditions, these are nini, these are because hata mimi background yetu I have an in-law mwenye ni Mgiriama. Na mimi najua wale cousins wangu wale like watoto wake hizi vitu za culture hawajui kabisa. Lakini wakifika pale show watu wana vitu kama hizo na because they like asking questions za mama ile nini ile nini hivyo culture inakuwa past.
Wacha niongeze pia. So one of the things that the County Theatre Fiesta is trying to do with Kid Fest is to try and build a theatre culture all over the country. So for this streak of the County Theatre Fiesta, we were covering Uasin Gishu, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kiambu, Kisumu, and now we're in Mombasa. So we've just been taking education to different parts of the country, the education of theatre really, so that then first we build the culture of theatre, ndio watu wajue hizi vitu zinafanyika, halafu pia tuvute audience yenye inakuja kuona waigizaji na inawalipa, at least ndio sana yao ianze kulipa. So we've done that in 6 different counties now, and our hope and prayer is that whatever it is that we have taught is going to stay with the people of those counties, and we're going to see a change. Ndio unajua theater ya Mombasa ikikua inafikia Nairobi, na we are able to work together. Yes, so and those collaborations are what are going to grow our industry even bigger.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now, I want to shoot this question, of course, over to you, Santa Maria. Community, of course, is at the heart of culture and heritage. How do you go about convincing a particular community that, they should bring their culture, on board? If you're going to showcase films, you're going to go to stages like the one right here in Pwani Innovation Week. How do you go about making sure they come on board?
Go about making sure they come on board.
Yes.
By having programs like the ones we have, by letting them know that hizi vitu zinafanyika on the ground, na sisi tuko ready kuwachukua.
Nongeze, it's also the importance of teaching people and letting people realize that pia sisi tuko na story, tuko na story zetu. Tunapenda sana kuiga nje na tunapenda sana stories za nje, lakini hatupeani stories zetu. It's very important that we continually tell stories of our culture so that even the children who are coming don't forget where we came from. So it has to be us. Unaona kama kwa harusi, kwa harusi kuna wale wa mama uimba, si ndio? Kwa wale bibi harusi akiingia kuna wale wa mama wa kuimba. Sisi wote tukikuwa watu wa hip hop na Otile Brown, nani ataimba kwa harusi? Tukipoteza culture ya kuimba kwa harusi, nani ataimba kwa harusi?
Labda watu wataki kuoa bana.
Kwa wale watatu wataoa, like nani atawaimbia?
So
it's really about working on making sure we continue to tell our stories, and that's what Kid Fest and the County Theatre Fiesta is about.
It's about, yeah.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Now, before we go on that musical break, yeah, you are of course the face of the organization, and when I look at you, I would say you are a very young person, yeah. How is it important, of course, for Gen Z and such young people, to be aware of their culture and their heritage?
Number one, I am a millennial.
Okay.
Maybe to Gen Z. The importance of these capacity building programs, sana. You see, Gathoni does marketing.
Okay.
Watu wengi, wacha niongelee Mombasa kwa sababu hapa ndio mimi niko. Watu wengi wa Mombasa sawa ni actors nini, but hawajui kujibrand, hawajui kujimarket, hawajui kuandika. Now programs like these are very important for young people because one, hazifundishwi shule. Zikifundishwa shule zinafundishwa hazifundishwi kwa upana.
Okay.
Lakini sasa wakijoin groups kama hizi, kuna watu kama kina Gathoni, kuna watu wengine wa kufundisha writing, so they expound on that little knowledge they already have from maybe YouTube, and maybe just from reading on Google.
All right, interesting. Good stuff. Of course, our clock striking 9 a.m. I want us to go on another musical break. And then when we move, I want to get into some very sensitive conversations this morning. Of course, I'll be seeking the assistance of one Gathoni, the voice of Zuri, to tell us a little.
Lazima pia ni market, lakini pia kama producer lazima ni budget. Kama stage manager, these are the things I need to do as a stage manager. So we're not just empowering them to put out stories. We're empowering them to put out stories the right way. Yes.
All right, that's interesting. Now to bring Santa Maria into the fold as an ambassador. You are an ambassador, so of course, because by virtue being the face of the organization, you get to attend some or all of theater presentations, if I may. I'm just assuming this. Are there memorable, moments on stage that you witnessed and made you realize that whatever we are doing, is making an impact not only in society but the world at large?
Currently, we're doing our what are they called? We're doing our rehearsals.
Okay.
And I can say most of the groups have decided to have their culture in their plays.
Okay.
And that's one thing I really enjoy. I really enjoy how they're trying to preserve that. So vile niliona waki rehearse wakitumia the flutes nini, that's something memorable because mimi nimekuwa Mombasa, nimekuwa nikisikia hizo flutes every time, so that's something that sticks in my mind. Nikisikia na nikiona kwa stage inanifurahisha.
All right.
Na pia wacha niongeze, so for the different counties that we've been to, ukiangalia when we start the scripts that waigizaji wanatupatia when we start, na by the time wanamalizia, you can tell the difference of their growth. Yani kama for example nikifunza class ya media and PR na marketing, nikiangalia ile poster walianza nayo na ile wanamalizia nayo kwa announce show, you can see the growth, and that is exactly what we're looking for. When we start to tell stories, when we read the scripts and we can see where the holes are, then the person who's in charge of writing will tell them, go here instead of here, ongeza hapa watu watacheka ama fanya hivi. So by the time wana stage ile script walikuwa wamekuja nayo, by the time tunaanza kuwafunza, when we start the classes and by the time wanaanza kushowcase shows zao Friday, Saturday na Sunday, there's such a big difference. Na ndio yani inakufurahisha roho kwa sababu unajua we're going somewhere, and basically that's what the County Theatre Fiesta is here for. Yes.
Nakuwa nzuri tena sana. Now, I want us to talk about Pwani Innovation Week a little bit. Of course, we've been here for the last 5 days, today being the last day. Of course, we've seen a host of performances and that kind of thing. How are events, such as Pwani Innovation Week important when it comes to culture and heritage, and of course, amplifying, the importance of bringing culture into the fold?
Preservation, first of all, is very, very important, and I think that's one of the things that Pwani Innovation Week is good for. So we go back to not losing our culture. So by the things that nimeona kuna tents nyingi all the way in, there are people wanacheza ngoma, there's music, all of those things that incorporate our culture are being preserved and are easily accessible. And what that does is it reminds us, inashinda ikitukumbusha, which is a very important thing. Ndio tusisahau culture yetu.
All right. Would say culture is part of tourism, yeah? And my question obviously goes to you, Santa Maria. The other week, we saw the governor launching Tourism Week, something called Tourism Week, I believe. World Tourism Day, if I'm not wrong, yeah? So, of course, should we as a county, more importantly Mombasa, embrace our culture? Because when you walk around Mombasa, very few places, are embracing culture. For example, where we are right now in Old Town, there is a lot of culture, there is a lot of history. What can us as a country, as a county, do more to preserve, our culture?
We can have, for us to preserve our culture, first of all, umesema Mombasa haijai lose kabisa.
Yeah.
Ukienda Old Town bado unaiona. Kiswahili yetu bado haija change sana, so we are still preserving it. We're trying so hard. Tunaenda Nairobi tunarudi, but Kiswahili ni kile. So sisi kama theater people, tuna what's the word I'm trying to get? We are tunawakumbusha watu wa theater that every time they're doing this type of shows, they remember to just incorporate some of the things that are around here. Madafu, leso zetu, kule juu kunaitwa huku juu penye wameanza kujenga Swahili Fort, nimeona wameka zile leso, zile za Kiriama, ukiona unajua hiyo ni Kiriama. So such things, Swahili Fort naona wame embrace sisi wenyewe. When we're doing our shows, we keep on reminding them that, you know what, don't forget about your culture. Make sure you incorporate them in your plays. In your plays,
yeah. All right. And my final question is, collaboration obviously is at the heart of everything. When it comes not only work, everything we do in life. How, are you guys ensuring that you collaborate with the right partners, the right individuals, so that, your goals and your purpose is being achieved at the end of the day?
Okay. First of all, like from Pwani Innovation Week, kwa mfano, what this hub has done, imeleta so many artists together. So when so many artists come together, collaborations zita happen, new friendships are forged, new ideas come up, you meet someone you can work with or someone who's working on something that is similar to yours. So ile inafanya culture inaendelea kunoga, inaendelea kusonga. So and with the County Theatre Fiesta as well, one of the things we're doing and we're tuna insist kwa watu wenye wanasoma is to collaborate, is to work together, kwa sababu at the end of the day sisi wote tunajaribu kufanya nini? Kuleta audience kwa auditorium ndio waone shows zetu. Hakuna cha show yako, show yangu ama show ya mwingine. Sisi wote tunakimbiza the same audience. So na kwa sababu tunakimbiza the same audience, tukicollaborate then tukikuja kuona show yako, alafu the next time mkuje kuona show yangu, then even your audience learns that it's okay to support this person, but it's also okay to support this other person. So in the end, tuna win sote.
Right, I love it. Now we're going to short musical break, 9:40 a.m. And then when we move, my good people, will be getting into the event I was telling you about. Kama Netflix free plan ndio imeenda, naona palipa kwenda this weekend. Na man like it on the decks, man like Harin the DJ, and of course seated next, or rather closer to my right, I'm talking about Gathoni alongside Santa Maria. Inakuwa nzuri tena sana. Now, as I said, tukimujes will be telling you about hii weekend kama una pesa ya kwenda kuona football ama team ina kufrustrate, they will be telling us where you can of course get some entertainment for yourself.
So tuko na the 5 shows happening from today, from 6 p.m. pale Little Theatre Club, up to Sunday. So hizo shows ni za hizi groups zenye tuna capacity build. So tickets are going for 500 to 1,000 bob.
Naona Arin the DJ, uko na maoni mwanangu, wasemaje? Ama unajua pia yako na event over the weekend, so unataka Tu unataka kumarket your event ama nini?
Nimechanganyikiwa bro. Unajua sijui niende huko ama niache kwenda gig.
Support, unajua culture muhimu mwana. Culture muhimu.
Ama tule stream. Simtakuwa live. Nifuatilie event yenu nikiwa kazi.
Hata kuna shows ni 5. Kuna show ya Friday 6 to 7 ya jioni leo. Alafu kuna show ya Saturday kesho. Kuna show 2 Saturday. Kuna saa 8 to saa 9, alafu kuna saa 10 to saa 11. Alafu kuna show zingine Sunday. Saa 8 pia to saa 9, alafu saa 10 to saa 11. Alafu baada ya hapo tuna announce winner.
Alright. Asante. Usio. Kwa nzuri tena sana. Now,
unaweza leta mpenzi wako pia, rafiki yako, mamako, dadako. Kila mtu tu aanze kujua kuna vitu kama hizi zinaendelea Mombasa.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, in Africa, we don't, you know, like when you go to ukiona hata films outside Kenya, you know, there is that belief that you can watch film as a family.
Yes.
In Kenya, the only time you can watch a film with somebody,
mpenzi wako wapenda nao tu.
That's the only time you can do it. Yeah, exactly. That's the only time. Now, a while back, Ofe, you told us that, you know, you're going to be having this final event in Nairobi, and you're going to have, you know, guys from outside Kenya, guys from Nigeria, guys from India. So, of course, this is going to be like a place where culture is going to be converging, you know,
yes.
Diversity is going to be there. This event, when you organize it, you know, do you have in mind the goal that we want to open up Kenya to the world so that, you know, can come and see what we do? Or what is like the idea behind, you know, inviting creatives from other countries?
Well, the Kenya International Theatre Festival is trying to open doors for different types of theatre, but also to be able to bring in different people from different counties and different countries. Then we can be able to see, to experience theatre from different eyes. We can be able to learn from each other. We can be able to grow the industry as well. Okay. So when you look at, for example, places like Broadway in America, they have shows. Utapata kama show moja ina run mwaka mzima. Hawapumziki, wako na show kila siku, na kuna cast inaenda na kuna audience inakuja. And what that does is culture kama hiyo inasaidia artist kuwa na pesa siku zote. Artist achanganyikiwi, ajue anafanya nini. You know, the worst thing about our industry ni utafanya kazi moja leo, alafu utakaa miezi zingine kama 3 kabla kazi nyingine ikupate, unaona? So when you build a strong theatre economy, then you ensure that artist halali njaa, una ensure pia kuna hiyo continuity na audience kujua nikienda kwa Kenya National Theatre every time nitapata show. But pia sasa hiyo collaborate na kuwork na kuinvite different people from different countries also allows us to see different cultures and to learn so much more from each other.
All right.
Yeah.
So of course, we know guys like Njugush and Abel Mutua who are doing like comedy and stuff like that. But whatever they're doing is like bringing a crowd and then like having live performances. Yeah. What are like the next steps, of course, for theater in your own view? Where do we need like to take it so that we can tap into that economy? You know, as you said.
First of all, we need bigger theaters. Kwa sababu tunaweza kuwa tuna market theater lakini tumekuwa so big sasa hatuna theater kubwa. We need a great big national theater that can seat at least 1,000 people. Ukiweza kujazia theater ya 1,000 people mara 5 kwa weekend, that's 5,000 people. That's a very big audience. So tuanze hapo kwa kujenga theater kubwa, na lakini pia kabla tujenge theater kubwa tujaribu sana kuonyesha watu that theater iko.
Yeah.
Let's tell our stories. Let's market and tell people we are doing these things. Ndio hata ukisikia Kid Fest na unapenda michezo ya kuigiza, for example, if you're in drama school, why are you no longer coming to watch plays and they exist, you know? It's all of those things, and if you love that type of entertainment, na kama tu hujaijaribu kuja uone, you might come watch and actually realize, oh, you know what, this is what I actually really like. Lakini msituweke ukuta kama mjatujaribu, unajua?
All right. Now, my next question, obviously, over to you, Santa Maria. A lot of creatives, you know, have challenges. how is the institution and organization ensuring that try to offer a helping hand to them to bridge the differences and overcome some of these challenges they have?
First of all, I feel like creatives wanafaa kukubali that hizo challenges ziko, because mimi on the ground nimeongea na creatives kadhaa hawaioni kabisa. Alafu sasa creatives should join such capacity building programs, because hapa ndio wanapata exposure, wanapata kumit watu wenye wako in that same industry that they're trying to get into. Wakikuwa hapo wanafundishwa, au pia wenyewe wako open minded, kwa sababu zingine mtu amekuja lakini hasikizi.
Okay.
Mombasa shida kubwa tumekuwa nayo ni mtu anakuja for lessons, lakini after a while anasema hapana, hainisaidia, mimi sina fare. Hata nikifuata certificate itanipeleka wapi? So tunafaa kufundisha creatives that these things are important. Come, learn, expose yourselves. Yeah.
All right, now my next question obviously is goes to both of you. The other day we saw the president, of course, making the trip I think to somewhere in South Africa or America, yeah? Najua prezo yetu akienda rudi lazima akuje na mazuri always so he had signed partnership, of course, with some film industry, I think from the United States, so that it will like help them come produce films in Kenya and by virtue marketing Kenya, creating job opportunities. If you were to sit in a board with the president, what advice would you give him to ensure, number one, that our industry in terms of filmmaking grows, talent growth grows, and of course ensuring that our creatives make, or rather tap into the maximum opportunity available in the film industry? Let me start with you, Gathoni.
This is such an easy question, because a week ago we had something called State of Film in Kenya Summit, which was basically had the former CS, Ababu Namwamba, and players of the industry came together to have a conversation, and an honest conversation about where we're going with the industry. And one of the conversations that came up is, yes, it's nice to have those conversations with people from Hollywood and all of those other international places, but what are we doing at home? Why are we opening doors to international people when we haven't sorted out our house? And one of the things we need to sort out in our house is to standardize our market, to unionize, so that kuna unions inatugovern, kwa sababu utapata kuna sets zingine watu wamefanya kazi hawajawahi lipwa, kuna places zingine watu wataenda kufanya kazi hakuna chakula ya kula, hakuna choo, yani small things, and we need to clean up house first before we can say we are actually inviting Hollywood. And sometimes it's working with Hollywood is a good thing, but sisi wenyewe tunatosha, yani our stories are so beautiful and we have so many strong, nice stories. Story ya Shakahola tu kama sahi, if you turned that into a film, it's a very powerful and those are our stories. Like ukiangalia South Africa na uangalia Nigeria, one of the things they have done over the years is to just push their culture. They don't try to be anyone else. The number one trending film on Netflix right now is a Nigerian film, right? It doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from just loving your own and telling your own stories. So we need to embrace our stories. We need to build ourselves first, to unionize, to be able to standardize how people are paid, to be able to standardize the time people work. It's a whole lot of things that we need to work on before we can actually say, you know what, we can actually accommodate another type of industry. We can accommodate Hollywood, So it's there's still so much work to be done, but we're making really good strides.
All right.
Yes.
Your opinion on the same question?
My advice to the president. So countries like Nigeria, their government support sana the film industry. It's really, really pushing it. Hapa Kenya tumeanza, lakini bado hatujafika. So my advice yangu itakuwa to implement such things in schools, in our curriculums, in our courses.
Right here on The Breakfast Vibe Show. Now, for anyone locking in, remember, you can trace us anywhere in the world at www.blueradio.co.ke. Hit our socials at Blue Radio KE so that you can be in the know when we share and update you on any new developing matters. Now, this morning we are all about art and culture, and I am joined, of course, by Gathoni. Karibu baadaye niseme Noni Gathoni.
Hapana, it's just Gathoni. Ukipenda
right?
Queen Gathoni.
Asante tena sana, alongside Santa Maria. Of course, we are talking about art and the creative industry at large, of course, bringing you in the know on the same matter. Now, I want to indulge. Yeah, and of course, with the quick five this morning, before we wrap things up, and I want us to start off nice and easy. My first question would go to you, Gathoni. If you had to choose between one of these two things, would you choose to be a billionaire or a president for one day only?
A billionaire. The president has so many problems.
What is it with women and money?
What do you mean? What is it with women and money?
Mbona usikue president?
Hata president inakam na pesa lakini inakam na stress. Mbona nichague pesa yenye iko na stress, anaweza chagua pesa yenye ina stress?
Always money.
Mimi napenda softness. Let it be known. Nitachagua pesa always.
Sawa. Oh, do you, Santa Maria, for your birthday, would you choose a gift or an experience?
I'll choose an experience.
Okay. Why?
An experience, it'll live in my head kabisa. I don't know how to explain that best, but experiences are what I live for. Is what I live for.
All right. So of course, over to you, Gathoni. The boogeyman is at your doorstep. The boogeyman is at your what?
Doorstep.
And anauliza one of either you or your partner has to go with him. And you have been asked to make that decision. Who would you decide has to go with the boogeyman?
Yo, goodbye my partner. I'm sorry.
Kama anasikiza, tafadhali mfikie.
I exist.
Yeah?
Sasa iko sawa.
We shall use it in future. We shall use it.
Acha tupende mama zetu.
Hey. Nakuambia. Hai. All right. Sawa. Over to you, Santa Maria. Your house is on fire. Name two things you'd quickly rush into the house and come out with.
My computer. My computer and my camera.
Why the computer and the camera?
Because hiyo ndio kazi yangu. Computer yangu ikipotea, kamera yangu ikipotea, sina hela.
Una namna.
Okay. Sawa. So the final question obviously goes to the both of you. We are almost approaching the festive season, of course, Christmas holidays and that kind of thing. Between having the festive with the family or having sherehe with your buddies, which do you go for?
Family, always. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Friends are passing. They're just a passing thing. Family is forever.
Yeah. All right.
I also go na family. Friends come and go.
Hey, mazee.
Pendueni kwenyu, penda watu wenyu. Hao ndio watakuzika. Hao ndio wanajua birth certificate yako iko wapi. Penda hao.
Hey, sawa. Yako nzuri tena sana. So of course I want us to wrap things up. I want to give the both of you 1 minute with your parting shot first and foremost. And of course, what final message do you have, of course, number one, for any creative who is listening right now? More importantly, young people who are creatives breaking into the industry, they don't know the ropes in the industry. What message can you give them, that will help them navigate the industry?
First things first, do not lose hope. Like itajipa. Lakini haitajipa kama uko consistent. You have to be consistent with whatever your art is. Kama wewe ni mwandishi, andika kila siku. Kama wewe ni mwimbaji, imba, hum in the shower. Kaa hapo imbia watu. Enda kwa studio, jaribu kutengeneza beat. If you have a smartphone, start there. Get on the internet. Get your art out there. Wacha watu wajue una exist. Like njia ni nyingi sahi kuliko kitambo. Kitambo ilikuwa I have to get my show on a TV station. Sahi kuna YouTube, kuna Instagram, kuna TikTok. Watu wana kutoka kwa hizi platforms. Yeah. So put yourself out there bila uoga, lakini kuwa consistent. We're going somewhere.
All right. Asante tena sana.
1 minute ni refu sana for me.
Okay.
Tasema tu jitume na usi lose hope. Kama creative, kama msanii, usi lose your hope. Jitume kila siku, amka.
All right. That is Santa Maria saying kujituma muhimu tena sana. So of course, thank you for creating opportunities, like the one you're doing at Little Theatre. It's quite interesting. Actually, one of our presenters is actually over there, Kate Mkami. She's actually, I've seen her on your socials, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's
Thank
participating.
you.
So of course, kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Keep soaring and keep doing the good work. How's you? All right. So right about now, on the music to take over. When we mujes in this hour, we'll be talking about what is trending in the 254. Nini in a turn heads in the country. And we'll also start with this story about the Monica Kimani murder case. Of course,